Multiple deaths, including the shooter in a mass shooting in the Czech Republic. AP correspondent Mike Hempen reports.
Ambulances speeding across a bridge in downtown Prague following a mass shooting at a university. Authorities say an armed man opened fire in the philosophy department at Charles University, killing at least 15 people and causing widespread panic in one of the Czech Republic's worst mass shootings. Investigators say the shooter was a student at the university. The building faces a bridge across the river with a view of Prague Castle, the seat of the Czech presidency. Police gave no details about the victims or a possible motive, but the Czech Interior Minister says investigators do not suspect a link to any extremist ideology or group. I'm Mike Hempen.
A report from the UN finds that more than 500,000 people in Gaza are starving because of not enough food entering the territory since the outbreak of war more than 10 weeks ago. World Food Program chief economist Arif Hussein said, quote, "It is a situation where pretty much everybody in Gaza is hungry." He warned that if the war between Israel and Hamas, a U.S.-designated terrorist group, continues at the same levels and food deliveries are not restored, the population could face, quote, "a full-fledged famine within the next 6 months." Israel says it is in the final stages of clearing out Hamas militants from northern Gaza, but that months of fighting lie ahead in the south. Russia is working to strengthen ties to North Africa and spread its narrative about Ukraine and Gaza as the United States' popularity throughout the Arab world diminishes. As the two wars grind on, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov visited Morocco and Tunisia this week in an effort to deepen ties between Moscow and Arab countries. For additional stories 24 hours a day, visit our website, voanews.com. This is VOA News. Hundreds of people protested overnight in front of Congress after Argentine President Javier Milei announced dozens of decrees to deregulate the economy. AP correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
Among the first 30 decrees Milei announced of a list of over 300 measures, he highlighted the transformation of all state companies into public limited companies for subsequent privatization. Demonstrator Paz Robinson tells the AP they can't go ahead with this sellout. Really, how is it that people don't understand if the government is saying that they're going to adjust and want to sell us the lands? They are going to sell everything. With protests against his plan reforms, Milei is facing the first test of how his new administration will respond to demonstrations. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The UN says fighting between Sudan's military and a notorious paramilitary group forced up to 300,000 people to flee their homes in a province that had been a safe haven for families displaced by the country's devastating conflict. The fighting erupted in the city of Wad Madani, which is the provincial capital of Jazeera province, after the Rapid Support Forces attacked the city earlier this month. The RSF said it took over Wad Madani earlier this week, and the military said its troops withdrew from the city and an investigation was opened. Sudan's war began in mid-April. Russia has spent billions to keep its aviation sector alive. Reuters correspondent Francis McGuire reports an analysis by Reuters shows Moscow has given out more than $12 billion in state subsidies and loans.
It follows the country's invasion of Ukraine, which led to Western sanctions that cut off supplies to key parts and maintenance services. Russia is dependent on foreign-made aircraft and now faces the tough task of developing its aviation industry alone with domestically sourced parts. Western plane makers Airbus and Boeing stopped supplies of services and spare parts last year. They also dropped regular maintenance support for flag carrier Aeroflot and other Russian airlines. Since then, Russia has spent just over $12.07 billion supporting the civil aviation industry.
Francis McGuire from Reuters. The Colombian government says it will try to raise objects from the 1708 wreck of the galleon San Jose, which is believed to contain a cargo worth billions of dollars. The fate of the 300-year-old wreck has been controversial because it is both an archaeological and economic treasure. Colombia's culture minister pledged it would be a scientific expedition, but the ship's 11 million gold and silver coins, emeralds, and other precious cargo from Spanish-controlled colonies, which could be worth billions of dollars if recovered.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.